strong fish. Most fishermen put their boats away for the season long before ice begins to form along the rocky shores of Lake Champlain. But for a small group of die-hard anglers, the onset of winter signals one of the best times of the year to venture out on the broad lake. These hardy souls shrug off the cold and are rewarded with fast-paced salmon fishing and a sense of solitude that is seldom experienced during the busy summer months. As long as there's open water and a way to launch their boats, the resolute members of the Frostbite Fleet can be found trolling the wintry waters of Lake Champlain, no matter how bitter the temperature might be.
It's a beautiful lake, and without all the summer traffic, you're basically stepping back in time. This is a great time of year to go fishing. It's a great time of year to be out. It's like your own paradise out here. Fish!
That didn't take long. That is a fish. That's a salmon.
Fish on.
See him flash. He hasn't jumped. Ah, there's a jump. That's a salmon, all right. At a time of year when most anglers are sharpening their ice augers, Randy Coulomb of Waltham, Vermont spends his days on the deep, open waters of Lake Champlain, where he trolls for landlocked Atlantic salmon that are as cold and bright as a frosty winter day. That was a good-looking fish. Take that any day.
Well, I like to say I'm a fisherman at heart, born to fish, forced to work. I work at a swimming pool business, and from April until through September, I'm hard at work doing what I do to make a living. And we don't get to go fish in the summer like the rest of the gang does, which I still want to fish. So I was kind of forced into saying, geez, let's try this in the fall.
Randy's setup is simple but effective. During the late fall and early winter months, salmon are often found close to the surface feeding on smelt and other bait fish. So Randy runs 2 metal spoons behind the boat that imitate smelt. The most effective colors in the winter are copper, silver, and brass. Downriggers are used to hold the lures tight to the boat and only 3 to 6 feet deep. 2 flies are also trolled in the surface about 100 feet behind the boat.
This is a Captain Midnight. This is a tandem fly. This is to imitate a bait fish. Unlike casting a fly, we're going to troll this. And we'll troll it, and we're trolling on a traditional fly rod with fly line.
Captain Midnight, Blue Meanie, Marvin's Way, and Lightning Bolt are just a few of the original fly patterns that are hand-tied by Randy. Whether a salmon is hooked on a lure or a fly, what makes reeling in these acrobatic fish so enjoyable is the light tackle that Randy uses.
A lot of the people that fish Lake Champlain or trailer their boats over to Lake Ontario are geared up for those fish that are solidly in the teens or higher,
right?
And they're geared up for that. And our fish, I mean, if you gear down to the size fish that we've got, we've had and do have world-class fishing here in this lake. There's one fish.
Whoa, 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 okay. All right, we got him.
The numbers of fish that are here to catch at this time of year are greater than other times. It's not uncommon to go out in an afternoon of 2 or 3 hours and have catches of 20 to 30 fish in an afternoon. I mean, that kind of activity piques your interest.
I love your use of the single hooks, makes so much sense. Another beautiful salmon. So why is the fishing that much better right now?
Right now, they're starting to hog down so they can fatten up, I think, for winter.
So you think post-spawn, they're out here just putting the feed bag on?
Yeah. The fish that we catch, if you kill one and clean it, you'll see that they're chuck packed full
his belly was hard and
minnows,
full.
and it's like, you wonder how they could even think about putting another one in, but it's their Thanksgiving too, I guess.
Even though we went out on one of the nicer late December days to be on the big lake, there was still quite a chill in the air. But with the right clothing and onboard equipment, temperatures in the mid-teens proved surprisingly pleasant.
I didn't know it was this comfortable. I mean, we have a heater on the boat. It's as warm as any fish eating, and it's, the comfort level it can be quite good. I mean, easily 30 degrees warmer in the boat than on the fantail. Winter isn't zero. I mean, it's 20 degrees. So get out and enjoy it. It's part of the resource we have here.
Randy isn't the only angler who enjoys open water fishing for winter salmon. In fact, he's one of a handful of members of the Frostbite Fleet, a group of self-described fanatics that look forward to fishing on Lake Champlain from November until the lake freezes solid in late January. Got it. During a brief break from fishing, we joined another member of the Frostbite Fleet to share stories and enjoy some of Randy's homemade venison wraps.
We are kind of a close-knit bunch. We trade information back and forth. We let each other know where fish are biting and what they're biting on. We do it as much for camaraderie as safety.
With water temperatures in the low 40s and severe winter weather always a real possibility, it's comforting to see other boats on the water. And thanks to continued sea lamprey control, these hardcore anglers have more reason than ever to be out on Lake Champlain during the off-season months.
Juddy's got one on. Good boy, Judd, sir. The recovery that we're seeing from the lamprey treatment has been remarkable, because 8 to 10 years ago, when we were about 7 years into the first experimental lamprey treatment that we got, we had fish that it would be nothing to come out here and catch a dozen to 20, 25 fish that were 4.5, 5, 6 pound fish.
Beautiful, big
Beautiful,
salmon.
big salmon, and brown trout and rainbow trout. And then the lampreys, with the lack of the repeated treatment, ate them all up. And it got so bad out here that I actually put hedge trimmers on the boat to chop the lampreys in half that would suck to the back of the boat.
With the resumption of lamprey control, Randy has put away the hedge clippers. Since he began winter salmon fishing in the mid-1980s, he and his friends have landed some real corkers, and he looks forward to seeing more 4 to 6 pounders again in the near future.
Fish! He's fighting. Hey. Come on.
Although we did not catch any lunkers, we had enough hookups to keep our blood flowing. And as long as lampreys are kept under control, the salmon fishing on Lake Champlain should continue to provide a fantastic and truly year-round fishery for years to come.
Look at that, huh?
A little football.
Look how nice and fat he is, huh?
That is a chunky salmon.
A couple more years on him.
Yeah?
You know, that'll be
a heck of a fish.
That'll be a good 4.5, 5 pound fish. This one here, I would say this one is probably a 3-year-old fish.
So been in the lake 2 years since stocking?
Probably.
And look how it's clean, perfect, no scarring, the fins are perfect. I mean, that's just a handsome salmon.
Handsome fish. And the meat will be just as nice and pink as anything.
I think he's going to be the centerpiece of a New Year's Eve dinner.
Excellent. He should be.
It should be.
Or at least hors d'oeuvres.
Or at least hors d'oeuvres. Come on, baby. Jump. Jump.
In the next 3 or 4 years, we're going to have world-class fishery where, again, we'll be able to return to what we had in the 80s and early 90s, where you could go out and easily, not a skilled fisherman, go out and catch 20 and 30 fish in an afternoon with a boat with 2 guys in it. And I mean, that kind of activity level, it's awesome. I mean, you can spend big money to go away to exotic places, and we got it in our own backyard.